Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 review. Not like this, not like this. While I had just as much fun playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC as did playing for his review on the best PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, it is a different game entirely. It fails to hit even the lowest bar of technical quality on should expect even when playing on lower end hardware. It performs so poorly that it makes combat, driving, and what is otherwise a mastercraft of storytelling legitimacy difficult to look at. It is not an exaggeration to say that I have felt nauseated after playing because of the terrible frame rate. It really is that bad, and it is very suspicious that CD Projekt Red refused to provide console review copy ahead of launch. In my original tests on patch 1.02, frame rate departed into the tens on Xbox One during key story moment involving combat. And while patch 1.04 promised more stability, it still struggles to maintain 30 FPS and crashes are still frequent. At best, it will regularly crash to the system screen on Xbox One. At worst, it will hard lock your system and you have to turn it off and on again. In short, neither the PS4 or Xbox One is able to hold a steady frame rate, and they often fridge altogether for seconds at a time. On the base model Xbox One, it appears to be running at less than 720 pixel resolution at time, though that fluctuates due to dynamic scaling. Even so, you can expect to see it drop as low as 10 frames per second during combat, which is all but unplayable, and it's around 20 FPS even when you are doing simple and routine things like walking outside in the introduction. The PS4 is slightly better in performance and stability since patch 1.04, but at the sacrifice of texture load in time, characters will often appear blocky while you wait an agonizingly long time for their faces to show up to the party. The geometry or texture will sometimes fail to appear even with all the effects like film grain and motion blur turned off. The Xbox One or PS4 version is nearly unrecognizable compared to the PC version. Both platforms have several major issues with the open world, such as signs that have no graphics at all until they eventually load in about 5 seconds later, making it impossible to navigate without the map, and explosions or effects that happen comically late or fail to trigger at all. It's not just visual, the enemy AI will sometimes break and won't shoot at you. The excellent voice acting is one of the few things that holds up. Everything else is nearly unrecognizable compared to the PC version. Even the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, which have some problems of their own, add a huge setup from this technical mess. If you bought Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One or PS4, what's your plan? Comment us. Verdict: if your only option right now is playing Cyberpunk 2077 on either of the best console platforms, I highly suggest you don't play at all until its many terrible performance issues are fixed. And if you have already bought it and had an experience similar to what I have described, you should absolutely get a refund if possible. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version are simply not in an acceptable state, and it makes me sad to think that so many people are having their first Cyberpunk 2077 experience ruined this way. Because when it works, it's a fantastic RPG. What's the deal with PS5 and Series X versions? I have only been able to play the PC version of Cyberpunk 2077 so far, but it's launching on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Google Stadia. Alongside it, it's important to be aware that while backward compatibility allows you to play those versions on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and naturally take advantage of their faster GPUs and SSDs, there won't be official next generation optimized version of upgrades for this platform until sometime next year. CDPR has not said exactly when those will arrive, so you should keep that in mind if you are looking to play Cyberpunk 2077 on one of your shiny new systems this year. Goodbye.